Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, you don't have much energy after this week. But I want to thank you because this is this year's last session, and congratulations, you made it. So I'll try to put some energy in here because it's been a long week for me, for you. I hope you will enjoy it. So first of all, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Sébastien Molendijk. I'm a program manager for Cloud App Security in the customer experience team for all our security products. So first of all, who can show me by raising your hands who is using Cloud App Security here? Oh, quite a few. So I guess that's why you're here. I guess, great. Who is planning to use Cloud App Security? Okay. Who has never heard about Cloud App Security and he's here because that's the last session and maybe something? Okay, oh, 3, that's great, thanks for that. So first I'm going to start with a very short introduction for those who are new to Cloud App Security. So Cloud App Security is a leader CASB according to Gartner. And basically you can think about a CASB as a security solution that's going to fulfill a few needs for a company to secure cloud resources. One of those popular use cases that you have when you're using a CASB is to discover cloud application, so shadow IT discovery. Another one is to protect your data in the cloud, so information protection. Another one is to protect against cyber threats, and that's the main topic we're going to discuss today, even though we're going to discuss about a few others, and also ensure compliance. And you've seen probably this in previous session. We are uniquely integrated with the different security solutions that we have at Microsoft, like Microsoft Defender ATP, for example, Azure Security Center, and so on. So if you think about the detection across cloud application and session that Cloud App Security is able to do, we support multiple scenarios. So one of the scenarios is to discover the threats in your environment by discovering, for example, malwares that have been uploaded to your cloud application. Or we can also look at a rogue OAuth application where your user click on an email and delegate access to your environment to basically any application. So that's an attack vector that we've seen increasing very rapidly recently. Another one is pretty straightforward, is to find multiple failed login against your cloud application. Or something also that we see a lot is creation of suspicious inbox rules to be able to exfiltrate data. So think about someone that's been able to compromise a user, created an inbox rules searching for words like, I don't know, bank account, credit card, etc. And they're just forwarding all those emails to a specific folder or an external account to be able to continue further to exfiltrate data in your environment. We also have different indicators of compromised session by looking at activities from suspicious IPs, from infrequent country, or things like impossible travel. So all the things that will be deviations to your end user habits. But we can also go further for the user monitoring by looking at malicious use of the user credentials. For example, detecting also deviation in the way they're using the cloud application by detecting unusual file share, file deletion, file download. Think about a user account that has been compromised, or maybe some user that's thinking about leaving the company and trying to get the more data before leaving the company. That's something that we'll be able to detect. And of course, one of the last use cases we'll have is to detect malicious use of privileged admin accounts. So those are all the detections that we have in Cloud App Security natively, but of course you can create your own detection in addition to the ones that you already have here. So how can you manage all those alerts now? I guess that for all the people that are here in the room, you're coming to this session because you have so many alerts and you have no idea how to manage those alerts or how to automate those. I guess that's the reason. Or do you want more alerts in the future in Cloud App Security? I'm not talking about policy. More alerts, yes. Yeah, not many people asking here. So how can you manage those alerts? Something that we released a year ago to be able to automate the alert management in the integration with Power Automate. So it used to be called Microsoft Flow. And by using Power Automate, we're able to connect to different external solutions. By external solution, I mean other Microsoft solution, third-party solution like Jira, like ServiceNow, or basically any application, any solution that will support API connections. So that's something very powerful that you can use to automate your alerts. And I'm going to, at least I will try to convince you that this is a great solution to implement in your environment to be able to ease the management of all those alerts. So this session is going to be demo-driven. So what I'm going to do during this session is to cover 3 use cases. So why only 3? Because I have only 20 minutes. But I will provide you at the end of the session a link to a webinar where we discuss in much more details those different scenarios. So first demo use case, remove sensitive file sharing after requesting user validation. So what does it mean? People that are using DLP solution here in the room, are you, so 3 people, so that's great. So when you have DLP violation in your environment, how do you handle those DLP violation? For example, you have an alert because you have sensitive data like credit card, PII information that will be shared externally. And if you have thousands of users, you have probably thousands of alerts. So how do you manage that today? Or do you manage that? Are you able to manage that? No. Yeah, that's the case for most people. And you know that Cloud App Security is able to apply automatic governance action, like removing the sharing, removing external collaborators, or applying Azure Information Protection labels. Is it something that you're using in your company to automatically unshare files? Who is using it? No. Okay, nobody. I assume that you're not removing those sharings because you're afraid to break the business, right? And you're afraid that those people will come back to you being very angry and say, hey, why did you do that? I was working with a contractor on a very important project. Thank you, IT, no budget for next year. So that's probably something, yeah, thanks for the thumb up. So how can you solve this business problem, which is also security related here, with this automated solution? So let's have a look at one of the solutions that we can propose here. So let's start with classic file policy or DLP policy in Cloud App Security. You see here that I'm applying a filtering on a few users, actually in my demo environment on only 1 user to avoid any issues with my colleague. What I'm doing is searching for files that have an access level of either public or external, something pretty straightforward. So I'm searching for this kind of shared in my environment. And what I'm doing is searching for sensitive information based on the content type. So I'm not even looking at AIP labeled files. So I'm searching for files containing social security number, containing credit cards, and all those different type of sensitive data type will generate DLP violation in my environment. How can I automate the process of finding some solution for this? What I'm doing is that here I'm sending my alerts to a flow. So you see that here I have many playbooks that exist in my environment, and the one that I've selected is to remove sensitive data in my file sharing. What I'm going to do is to simulate this kind of alert. So I've already uploaded some sensitive data in my environment in a few applications. So basically what I'm going to do is to, so I actually already did here, was to generate an alert. So you can see here that this user, Megan B, has shared a credit card information, which is stored in box, and that's a DLP violation. So probably that's something that you want to detect and that you want to remediate. But as we said before, you don't want to automatically remove the sharing because maybe that's something that they did on purpose. Maybe there is a very good reason to do that. So how can we handle this situation? By creating here this type of workflow. So you see that here I'm calling it remove sensitive file sharing after requesting user validation. So the workflow that I'm going to show you here is a way to interact with your end user. So you can ask them, is it normal? Is it something that you were planning to do, because most of the time we know that data leaks happen because of misconfiguration or end-user errors, not because they had malicious intent. So here what we're going to do is to educate our end user. So what I'm doing here, I have a trigger that's going to start my playbook when an alert is generated in Cloud App Security. I have different variables that I'm initializing here. I'm not going into much detail, but that's something that that you'll be able to see in the flow. So I will share this flow in a couple of weeks, and I will post this in tech communities. You will be able to reuse this in your environment. Oh, I see many smiles. That's great. So what I'm doing here, you see that I'm collecting here a secret from a key vault. Just for reference here, what am I doing this? Because I'm going to use the Cloud App Security API, and I don't want to save my API token in clear text in a workflow. So that's just for security purpose here. So after doing those different things, I'm going to get more details from the Cloud App Security alert. So usually when I show this, people understand that it's pretty straightforward. So I'm calling our API, and I'm going to get other details from our alerts using the API token that we get. The next thing that I'm doing, based on the alert detail I received, I'm looking at the end user email address by using the compromised user identity provided by the Cloud App Security alert. I'm also looking at the end user manager because I want to also let the manager know that something bad might be happening. And the next thing that I'm going to do after some parsing, I'm going to send for every file that was shared by the end user an email or a Teams message asking to the end user this thing. So if you're not familiar with Microsoft Power Automate, yeah, very difficult to switch after saying flow for years. So what I'm doing here, I'm sending an email to the user and to the user manager. And what I'm saying in this email is, warning, we detected a very sensitive file that has been shared externally. And I'm explaining to the end user, using the details from the previous steps, that we detected that they just shared a very sensitive file, named file name, you will see the result later, located here, and related to this specific policy in Cloud App Security. I also explained that it's against our policy to do this type of sharing, and that it should take some remediation actions. The remediation actions here will be based on the different options that we're going to provide to the user. You can see here in the user options that I have a keep option. So keep means the end user is aware of what he's doing. He's planning to keep this sharing, even if the file is very sensitive, so that's probably something expected. Or the end user can remove the sharing of the file, so making the file private, or just remove external user. So that's another option that we're leaving here. Another option that we could add is also to apply AIP labels, for example, but I'm not doing it in this example. After this, what I'm doing, based on the end user answer, I'm going to handle the answer differently. In case the user say, yes, I want to keep my sharing, I'm resolving the Cloud App Security alerts. And in the resolution comment, I'm just saying that here, the end user confirmed that the file shared externally was performed on purpose. So there is no issue. You can close the alerts. And I'm sending a confirmation email to the end user explaining that we've been able to manage this incident. If the end user answers that he or she wants to remove the sharing, what I'm doing here is calling the Cloud App Security alert. So you probably think that this is pretty complex. This is version 1. We're currently working on improving the connectors to avoid you to do this kind of thing and learn about our API. So we are aware of this, but we wanted to first empower you to do this kind of thing. So basically, I'm calling Cloud App Security alerts. And what I'm going to do is to apply a governance action called remove everyone file task for that specific file in that specific application, and it's going to unshare the file for my end user. And after that, I'm confirming that we remove the sharing of that file and re-resolve the alert in Cloud App Security. If the user decided to, instead of just removing all the sharing, to remove here only external user, that's basically the same type of configuration. The only difference will be the task that will remove external user and not all the users. So let's test this. Here, I can do that. I'm not doing it for the demo because it would be a very big flow with, and I would need a better resolution to show you everything. But that's something that we can do. We can also add reminders after some time, and maybe, depending on the sensitivity of the file, share everything. So look at this. I just received a message. That's flow. Wow, what's happening here? Let's have a look. So look at this message. I've received a message explaining that, dear Megan, so yes, I'm connected as Megan Bowens, our system detected that you just shared a sensitive file externally. And we explain the different risks of this action, and we provide to the end user the buttons to be able to apply the governance action that we had. I'm sending here a message in flow, but maybe what you want to do is to also use the email. So you see that I just received here an email. So the end user see those different things. So by providing a direct link to the file, the user might click on the address here just to verify that everything is working as expected. So after validating the content of the file that we provided, the end user could decide to remove the sharing. Or if the end user is lazy, they can just use their emails here and click Remove Sharing. You see that we're going to call the Cloud App Security API. So now I can see here that it was applied. And if I go back now to my application, in this case, Box, if I click on the share, okay, the governance action is probably still applied, but you will have this action that will be applied automatically to remove the sharing. So here it takes usually a minute because we don't have time to wait. Trust me on this, it's working and I can share it with you. Okay, so that's the first use case that we're covering here. So is it worth it to come to this session only for that? Oh, great, I see some smiles. I love those smiles, especially on Friday afternoon. So the next demo use case that we're going to cover here is to request input from the end user manager based on some unusual behavior of the user to allow you to, for example, manage an alert or disable the user. So how can we do this? Let's go back to our slides, to our environment. So what we do have in our environment are different anomaly detection. By default, Cloud App Security is able to detect unusual behavior of your user by looking at impossible travel or infrequent country activities or any other type of suspicious activities. And what we want to do, because most of the time you're not aware of what the user is doing, is the user traveling at the moment? Are they maybe using a VPN in another location? What can you do with that? So you're not sure how to manage these alerts. What we're going to do is to use another automation process here that will be also based on an alert, looking for details from the end user. So I'm collecting some details from Azure AD. I'm collecting details on the user manager. And what I'm doing here, I'm requesting the manager for some input. So in this case, it's again the same type of approach. But this time, the message to the manager will be here saying that we detected a specific suspicious activity for an end user, and we're asking the manager, what should we do? Is the end user traveling abroad, for example? Are they supposed to be in that specific location? So what should we do with this alert? So the end user options here are either ignore the alert, so the manager confirmed that this is not something suspicious, the end user is actually traveling. For example, you're all here in Orlando, so that's not suspicious for your manager to be here. What we can also ask is to disable the user, so the manager is able to click on that button, and it's going to trigger a lot of remediation action to be able to disable the account in the cloud, on premises, or in any system you can think about. Or what we can do, because the manager is not sure, is to request investigation in your SOC team. And maybe what we're going to do then is to create an incident in ServiceNow or any other ticketing system, asking the SOC team to go further in the investigation. Based on the end user manager answer here, what we're going to do, so if we ask to say that we can ignore the alerts, we will just write here a nice message saying, okay, we can ignore this alert. So what I'm doing here is composing a message that I'm going to post in my SOC Teams channel. Again, it could be a ServiceNow or any other data repository. And here, in this case, I'm dismissing the alert in Cloud App Security. So I'm not resolving the alerts, I'm dismissing the alerts. In case the manager decides to disable the user, so what we're going to do here is to disable the user in Azure Active Directory to prevent access to your cloud application. I'm also going to send to the end user an SMS using the integration Flow has with Twilio. So the end user knows that something happened to its account, so he's able to see here with this information that the account was disabled by the manager. So because probably he will lose access to Outlook or Teams, we send a message here, and you can do whatever you want then. And what we do after this is to resolve the alerts, send an email confirming to the manager and the SOC team that we resolved the alerts. And I'm also launching here an automation runbook with, to be able to disable the user on premises. I'm not going to cover this in details. I'm doing it in the webinar, so I'm just doing some teasing. Go to the webinar to see how I'm doing this. And the last thing here for the investigation, I'm just posting a message in the team. So let's test this use case. So again, think about some user that would have an unusual behavior, and the manager will receive an email. Here, I love this sound. So think about my manager here receiving this message telling me that we recently decreted something special happening for this poor Megan once more. And here in this case, the policy that was attached was an actually reverse proxy action, and the end user tried to copy-paste some action. There, this is because it's an easy to trigger detection, but it could be unusual location or any other detection. So what I'm going to do as a manager, I'm going to here ignore the alerts because I know she is allowed to do this. But you could disable the user, of course. Again, with one click as the manager, I'm able to now dismiss my alerts. And just to show you how it looks like in the SOC team channel, you can see here, that we're going to post this type of messages in the dismissed alerts. So we explain different information from the end user. We have a direct link to the alerts. And we explain also that the manager decided to dismiss the alert. Any question on this? So again, here the idea is really to empower the end user and the manager to do things. And that's actually one of the things that we do at Microsoft to be able to be more efficient with our security events. The last use case for this session, because we're almost done, will be to automatically remove malicious inbox forwarding rules. Who has been compromised in using this type of attack here in the room? Okay, a couple of hands. So basically what you're able to do when you integrate with Cloud App Security, you're able to use this kind of workflow to automatically remove the inbox rules that Cloud App Security will believe are suspicious. And after that, you will be able, after just resolving the incident, go further in your investigation to be able to detect how it happened. Maybe it was a phishing email that the user clicked on. You can go further, but at least you've been able to stop the attack. So how can we do this? This one is going to be a bit more tricky. But just for everybody to understand this type of alerts. So here is the type of detection that we will have based on our built-in detection for suspicious inbox forwarding. So here, sorry for the refresh. So you can see that we have details on a user that was probably compromised because we detected a suspicious inbox forwarding rules for this user, and all the emails that were coming to that inbox were forwarded to tom123@gmail.com. If you look at the evidences a bit further, like the activities that helped us to identify this attack, you can see here the different logon activities from that user, somewhere in Belgium, very dangerous people. I'm from Belgium, by the way. And also the different activities from risky IP addresses. So we provide you all those evidences, but because we know you have so many alerts to manage in a regular environment, we're going to automate this resolution. So we do this, once again, with a flow. And this flow here is a bit special. So again, I'm starting with my Cloud App Security alert trigger. I'm collecting details in Azure AD and in Office 365 on the end user account and email address. And what I'm doing after is to call, again, the Cloud App Security API to get more details on the alert. And based on those information, what I'm going to do is to call here a runbook in Azure Automation. So what I'm doing here is to actually use details that comes from Cloud App Security to run an Azure Automation runbook. Who is familiar with Azure Automation here? Okay, not so many people. So basically, and I'm going to show you this in Azure, this is an Azure service that allows you to run PowerShell scripts or Python script to do whatever you want. And those scripts can be executed in the cloud, or if you use a hybrid worker, you'll be able to also have some kind of agent running on premises in your environment, and you'll be able to execute those scripts on premises. That's what I'm using to disable user accounts on premises. So basically what we do here, we have Cloud App Security triggering an alert. The alert triggers a flow. The flow triggers a runbook, so a PowerShell script. And this script is going to delete the inbox rules. Why am I doing this? Because it might sound complicated. It's because Exchange Online currently doesn't have an API to allow this kind of remediation. So I'm using PowerShell that I'm pretty sure all of you already know about and use every day. Let me show you how it works. So basically, that's the way to execute my runbook. And I'm providing here the inbox rules name and the compromised user identity to delete it. And when I go here to my Azure portal, that's the runbook that I'm going to execute. So when you look at this runbook, it's something that probably looks familiar because I'm going to simply connect to Exchange Online. So I'm getting some Azure Automation credential here. I'm connecting to Exchange Online. I'm creating some specific output here, like for trace, and I'm using one simple line to remove the inbox rule. So I'm doing a remove-inbox rules. I specify the rule name that was provided by Cloud App Security, the end user on which I want to apply this action, again, provided by Cloud App Security, and I'm sending back some output there. The next step that will happen here, if I go back to my workflow, is that I'm going to collect the job output. So based on the Azure Automation execution here, I'm collecting the details that I published in my script. So remember the output that was created. And after that, I'm resolving the alert in Cloud App Security, and I'm sending an email to the user or to the user manager explaining that we deleted this information. That might be useful if you have some false positive and you delete an important inbox rules. So at least we keep track of this and we let our user know. So unfortunately for this one, I cannot execute it because I have my account that's not provisioned in our test tenant. But basically, that's how you're going to handle this type of alerts. And now, again, just like the previous flows, I will share all those things and communicate in tech community to let you know. Here, we'll cover some other automation scenarios that we can use. So I'm not going to cover all of this, of course, because we're at the end of the session. But here you can see that those are popular things like running a Microsoft Defender ATP, scan, for example, based on some suspicious behavior, or asking for other approval before applying a remediation action, etc. So those are some of the popular use cases. Something I would recommend to do is, after this session, maybe next week when you're finally ready to go back to work, is to go to those resources. And you can see here at the bottom a link to our webinars, aka.ms/security webinars, where we keep all the webinars we recorded for all our security products, including Cloud App Security. And there I have a 1-hour webinar on what we discussed today. If you come back also later to the Ignite website, you'll be able to review all those different sessions. Don't hesitate to go back to those, where we will cover all the new announcements from the Ignite and other things that Cloud App Security can do. And thanks for your attention, and see you soon. See you next year.